You're traveling to another dimension, not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of the imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Next stop is
the Terrorverse. You are now trapped in a horror film, and I know you have questions.
Lord knows I did.
Questions like, how's that even possible? Why me? And will I die?
No one knows the answer to those first two questions, but as for the third and final question, the answer is yes, and right soon, unless you do exactly as I tell you to.
Okay.
I've spent the better part of my life,
if you can call it that,
trapped in the Terrorverse, sleeping one eye open and one finger on the trigger. I've tangled all manners of ghosts, vanquished vampires, blown the head off zombies, and even danced with the devil himself. All without a lick of help. And you know what?
What?
I'm still here, so I figure you must be doing something right. So I suggest you stick close,
pay attention,
and avoid breaking the Terrorverse one and only commandment.
Thou shalt not be stupid.
As average American males, we are overwhelmed with images depicting the cool and uncool stereotypes of pop culture.
According to a recent Ball State University study, the average American spends over 5,350 hours every year with media, and with new sources such as Hulu and iPhones making media images available at the touch of a button, we're sure to see that number continue to rise.
These stereotypes are often reinforced through mass media. For example, horror movies. You may be looking at us right now, judging us, with stereotypes. One of us, a sunburned server from Florida, and the other, a crazed homeschool kid who thought Palin was the best thing since Nixon.
Not to mention Bush.
So, I suggest you grab your ticket, grab some popcorn, and enjoy.
How to Survive a Horror Movie
by Seth Grant.
Take a look at yourself. Are you or any of your companions wearing a varsity letter jacket?
Do any of your friends look like cast members from Dawson's Creek? Or do they mention these other 5 horror movie stereotypes? Horror movie stereotype number 1, the nice guy with a monosyllabic first name.
Hi, I'm Jeff. Do you want to be friends?
Horror movie stereotype number 2, the slutty goth chick.
No one understands me.
Horror movie stereotype number 3, the town's richest man, virgin daughter.
It's so big.
Horror movie stereotype number 4, the nerd.
My level 3 dungeon master will smite you with his sword of mastery.
And the 5th and final horror movie stereotype is the sex-crazed ape.
Oh, right, giggity-goo.
If any of your companions match any of these 5 horror movie stereotypes, the chances of making it to the end credits have just gone down by a factor of 10.
The first rule to surviving any horror movie is this: know your enemy. The slasher flick is broken down into the top 3 slaughterhouse villains.
First, we have the strong silent type.
The strong silent type often wears masks or coveralls to hide their disfigured or decaying flesh. They never speak, and thanks to their freakishly large physiques, they're able to walk faster than a normal human can sprint. They have no pain receptors, so they can take being shot, stabbed, or even dismembered all in stride. Their weapons of choice are butcher's knives and machetes.
There's only one way to defeat the strong silent type, and that's smart. You can't outrun them, and you certainly can't take them on, but you can capitalize on their one-dimensional thinking. The strong silent type only sees the victim at hand, giving them terrible tunnel vision. Once you have the strong silent type in a trap with this tunnel vision, there are 2 ways to destroy their evil. First way is burn their body and reduce it to ash. Mix that ash into cement, and use that cement to build a children's hospital. The second way to destroy their evil is to crush them in a hydraulic press. Run them through a wood chip burn 3 times, and feed the remainder to puppies.
Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
The second slasher is the half-retarded hillbilly.
Get her done! In a horror movie, if your car breaks down in some bone-dry, long-forgotten wasteland of a town, everyone you meet is either a half-retarded hillbilly or working in close association with one.
You got a pert mouth.
Here's how it usually goes. You're forced to rely on the town's sole tow truck driver, who turns out to be a roper for the local family of inbred serial killers. Before long, you find yourself trapped in their clown-themed dungeon, where you're tortured, killed, buried, dug up, and eaten. Half-retarded hillbillies kill because of their backwater DNA, and because, frankly, they've got nothing better to do. Their weapons of choice are farm implements, and their primary habitat is anywhere that non-retarded hillbillies can be found. You might be a redneck.
If you plan to defeat the half-retarded hillbilly, you just have to out-craze them. Half-retarded hillbillies love to intimidate their victims with acts of inbred insanity, such as drinking from a jar full of severed testicles, or dressing the Harry's family member in a little girl's leotard. But you have one weapon that they do not, a 21st century worldview. Shock them right back with tales of modern-day horrors, such as things you witnessed in nightclub bathrooms, or German porn clips you've seen on the internet.
Ach, du lieber Eichwitz, Eichschnitzelbaum? The third and final of the Slaughterhouse 3 is the Mama's Boy. Poor little Mama's Boy. So damaged, so unloved. If only Mother had let you play with all the other little boys, maybe your taxidermy hobby would have stopped at squirrels. Maybe you would have become a real doctor. The kind that helps people instead of the kind that, well, doesn't. But no, Mother just kept on yelling, even as she continued to bathe him at the age of 14, telling him how filthy his body was, telling him what a sinner he was. No, Mama's Boy has to keep killing Mother again and again and again, but she never dies.
His mother is always telling him he'll never be a real man. But if you plan to defeat the Mama's Boy, you just gotta get him laid. Seriously, if he's there before you, about to jab a knife right through your chest, hold up your hands and say, wait, and invite him out of the town. He'll probably drop the knife right there and start sobbing because it's the first time anyone's invited him anywhere. So, take him out glove hopping, act interested in his rambling stories of squirrel anatomy, and slip a roofie in some girl's drink. This method will save your life as well as future countless victims.
Knowing your enemy is only half the battle. There are also some golden rules of the Terrorverse that you must always follow. Rules such as don't go to summer camp, just say no to road trips, and stay away from Makeout Point. Or better yet, stay away from all women between the ages of 16 and 60.
Ah, to be young in summer, to wake up on a glorious July morning. The birds singing on your windowsill, the wind is rustling the leaves of that oak you've climbed thousands of times. The world is yours.
Only it isn't.
This isn't real life, this is a horror film. The day begins with birds singing, but ends up with your throat getting slit in the woods.
Cabins are the bug zappers of the horror movie universe. A place where the more gullible of our species are weeded out in one gruesome instant.
And what has more cabins than summer camp? Sure, I'm in a horror film, but I really don't see the problem hanging around a bunch of cabins in the woods.
A bunch of cabins run by teenagers who spend all their time smoking dope and humping. Are you crazy?
Michael Phelps won 8 gold medals. It's like you say, hey, a cabin, that looks like a great place to spend some. Oh my God, my intestines are on the floor.
Therefore, don't go to summer camp.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Lee?
Do you want to go on a road trip?
Sure! I think I know a shortcut.
It isn't on the map.
Trust me.
Maybe we should ask the guy with the machete for directions.
Okay.
Hey, mister!
And bang, next thing you know, you're dead. Your head's flying through the air.
Women are too dangerous to be around in the Terrorverse. You must stay away from makeout points.
Everybody knows the old adage about sex in horror movies. Do it and die. Avoid the kind of nasty that's guaranteed to result in death.
The kind of nasty that camp counselors have when they steal the equipment van and drive into the woods. The kind of nasty that the prom king and queen has in the school's parking lot.
So if someone asks you for a long, hard rod in their trunk, hand them the tire iron.
Women also bear harbingers of doom. Boobies.
It's hard to imagine anything bad coming from something so good. But there's an unfortunate horror movie phenomenon. Titsonics.
Yes, that's right. In the Terrorverse, young women's breasts emit a high-frequency sound, measured in megahertz, that only villains can hear.
And when those boobies are squeezed, the sound only gets louder.
Therefore, the only safe boobies are well-covered, untouched boobies.
Therefore, the ideal outfit for a woman in a horror movie would be a parka.
Over 2 ski jackets.
Over 2 sweaters.
With 2 bras.
With the nipples duct taped, just for good measure.
After all you have been through, the end credits are just within sight, but there is still one last Terrorverse resident you must know about.
Yes, that's right. The most powerful resident of the Terrorverse is the Prince of Darkness himself, Satan.
Satan stands before you, grabs you, and tosses you like a little girl.
The heat coming off of him blisters your skin, and his breath takes years away from your life.
But when Satan has you at claw's length, he needs something shocking, something dramatic, and there's only one thing with that much power.
A penis. Yes, that's right. Full frontal male nudity has never been in any horror movie.
So if you have a penis, marvelous! Drop your drawers and make Papa proud.
And if you don't, find someone who does, and fast.
It may seem like a juvenile response to a desperate situation, a sad attempt to mask fear with humor. Maybe it is. But would you much rather die with dignity or live with nudity?
After all, aren't you still alive despite everything you've been through?
So, put your faith in the last step, and if you ever come face to face with Satan,
show him your goods.